You are watching George Schlacek,
the one and only.
Hello, welcome to my channel, Wheel Building Safari 1.5. You're gonna find out why that is. Well, last week I started lacing a wheel, and I stopped when I found out that my spokes weren't sufficient. They seemed to be the wrong length, and I was a few spokes short, and I had trouble with the nipples. They were really hard to get on, some of them. So I tried to resolve the issue, and this video I'm trying to update you on what the scoop is here. It's not really what I hoped, I'll be honest.
When building a wheel, there are certain measurements that need to be taken before we can determine the correct length for the spokes. What you see here is how you can measure the effective rim diameter. You take two spokes that you know the length of, then put them into the position where they should ideally be once the wheel is built. Well, this is a spoke nipple and a spoke, and it's screwed in just enough. And then you put them in holes that are directly across from each other, and where they come together in the middle, or where they don't come together, you put your caliper and measure. In this case, this is 19 millimeters, so I've got two spokes that are each 302 millimeters long. I got 604 plus 19 is 623. That's my effective rim diameter. Now, to be sure, repeat this measurements with two holes that are on the other side. The rim could be slightly out of round, so in order to have a more accurate picture, take this measurement again. The next thing to measure is the hub diameter, spoke hole to spoke hole. In my case here, that is 45 millimeters. I will have to do that on both sides. Once again, I got the same measurement on both sides. Simplifies it. Alright, the next thing we need to find is the hub center to flange measurement. Well, unfortunately my caliper doesn't open up quite wide enough, but I can find the hub length or width by going on the inside of the lock nuts, and it gives me a measurement of 118 millimeters. Don't know if you can see that there. 118 divided by 2, that gives me 59. So from either side, 59 millimeters, which I'm going to adjust here on my caliper. See, now I go from the same spot where I measured, 59 on this side and 59 on that side. That should be the same spot right there. I'll mark it with a dot. That's right about there. And this side, see, it comes out at the same spot, which means the center of the hub is right there. Now we need the measurements from this center to either flange, and we're gonna write that down. It's also one of the measurements we need for our spoke length calculator. And yeah, this it's going from the center of the flange to there. They kind of gotta align this by eyeballing it a little bit. This one is 18 millimeters, and the other one one's 34. So it's 18 and 34 millimeters. And we got 45 flange diameters, both sides. And I said we had 622 effective spoke diameter. One more measurement to take, and that's the spoke hole diameter. In my case here, that seems to be 3 millimeters. So we'll add that to our list. After I've taken all my measurements on the hub, I plunk them into a spoke length calculator. I'll leave a link in the description of the video. Anyways, I got my spokes separated here. These are the longer ones. They obviously go on the non-drive side, because when you look at this, the center of the hub is actually right about where my finger is. So from here to the center of the spoke is going to be shorter because the flange is closer. So on the drive side, I'm going to start with that. And first we're going to use the ones that are outside in. So the shorter ones are these ones. Outside in every other hole I put a spoke. That's 9. Okay, now I could take any one of these, grab it, and put this down to show you where my valve stem hole is. It's right there. So there's a hole right next to it. I'm going to make this facing toward me, and that's the hole I'm going to use first. Right there. I got a bag of nipples here. This hole. Put this on very lightly, just to make it hold. If I put that on too far, then I'll have a hard time getting the nipples on later. See the next one on the hub? I put it 4 holes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Put in this one. Now every 4th hole receives a spoke and a nipple. Now this looks like that. And it's kind of loose. Now for the other side, I'm going to find my valve stem hole again. And now we're going to lace the other side. And I'm going to find the hole on the hub that is just offset a little bit this way, clockwise, from the first one that I did. When you look at this, these holes aren't exactly aligned. They're offset a little bit. So I look through this. There's the first spoke. So I found my hole here. And this is the one I'm going to start with. I'm going to do this right away because it will get the hole right next to my first one. Like this. Now I can put the other spokes in there. The pattern is the exact same one we used on the first side. This is what it looks like right now. So now I can turn this one of 2 ways. I gotta find my valve stem hole again. There it is. Now I gotta make sure that I don't block that. So if I turn it this way, then the next spoke will come from here. See? And it would be very hard to get a pump in there, so I'm going to make sure it's turned this way. Continue with the drive side, so we're taking the shorter spokes again, and I'm going to just pick any hole, go from the inside out. I'm going to cross 3 spokes. 1, that's really close to the hub. The second one, the third one, I'm going to go underneath it and go in that hole. At this point, I ran into a problem. The nipples seemed to be extremely hard to get on. Was it the wrong thread? Were there bad nipples? Who knows? It won't go. The birds know. Just listen to them. Hi, bird. Stubborn. Yeah, I got it on. I don't know why this nipple is so hard to get on. I'm just gonna take another one for now. Maybe there's something wrong with it. See, this one's on. Easy. Next one. Wrong way. Remember, inside out. I continued lacing up the wheel, even after sensing that something might be wrong. See, this is what it looks like. It's a consistent pattern. As you can see, my valve stem hole has enough clearance here, so that's all good. Now I gotta tighten these up a little bit so I can see if the spoke length was actually correct. So I'll go all around this and I tighten them to about like a few threads before the end. I am back in my backyard after a weekend camping trip. Here's the update. So I laced this wheel. It's looking good, right? Except, look at this. See, there's no way I can tighten this nipple. For some reason, the spokes that I got, they are way too long. I measured the hub and the rim last week, and I was pretty certain that my measurements were okay. I put them into an online spoke length calculator, and for some reason it gave me 304 and 306 for the short and the long size respectively. Turns out that's wrong. The spokes that I had before, they're much closer. When I made this video, I remeasured all the stuff again just to have this on camera. You saw this earlier, and the results were different. Actually, the results of my measurements were the same, but I used a different spoke length calculator online, and my spoke lengths now are something like, I have to double check this again, 299 and 301 or something. So see, there's always a 2mm difference, but it seems like you cannot just go to any spoke length calculator online and plunk in your numbers and be confident that this actually works. There are probably glitches in some of them, and I'll have to leave you a link in the description for the one that I finally end up using. For now, all I can leave you with is say, well, this got screwed up once again, and what we're learning from that is that you cannot just rely on just any spoke length calculator online. And I'm also going to leave a link in the description to Sheldon Brown's website. He's actually breaking it down, the math, exactly how you can calculate your own spoke length. And I wasn't gonna resort to that because I'm not a math genius. I really don't enjoy the stuff. But in order to get a wheel that works properly and that I can use, I might just do that. I just kind of wasted $36 on spokes and nipples. So I'm sorry to disappoint you. This is Wheel Building Safari 1.5, not 2.0 as I was hoping. Bear with me. We'll get this done eventually. I mean, I want to ride this thing. And there's a lot more to do. Too much to just get stuck on the wheel, you know. Next week you'll know what happens, and in the meantime I'll be posting another video that is about our camping trip. I don't know when this is going to be up. I'll try to squeeze it in this week also. I always like if when you're watching and leaving me comments, and if you're not subscribed yet, I'd really love you to do that. And I got lots of bicycle and bicycle touring related content. Check out the videos that are popping up on the screen now. Thank you. See you next time.